All right. Hello, everybody. Thanks for your interest. My name is Maria, and I work as a QA automation engineer in a slot logic company. Our company produces soft for casinos. Its soft consists of administration system for casinos and games as a service package. 2 years ago, the question of implementing of automation into our testing processes arose, and after we spent some time searching for the tools which will be suitable for us, we paid attention to robot framework. Some points why. Because it serves our needs best. We can both test web applications and we can test our desktop apps with this framework. And also the main point is that our testers can start writing tests even if they do not know any programming language at all. So they just start writing, and it's quite simple to them to start with this framework. As for web testing, robot framework serves best, and we do not need any extra libraries, keywords, or tools. But speaking about our desktop application, games, casino games, slots, we needed to extend to write, to implement our own image library. Because as you can see, we have to check it as a user. We have to imitate user actions and understand the processes on the screen like the player understands and sees it. So we have not find what I want to say, the image horizon library from robot framework could not help us to do this stuff, because we have to click these buttons. We have to catch the states of the buttons. As you can see, sometimes they are clickable or not, and we must understand what's going on the screen, switch to other game states, to transfer wins, to understand that the transfer is over, and so on and so on. So we didn't want to give up with robot framework and decided to implement our own library with the keywords which can help us to test these things. So briefly, how do we check the images? We use screenshots and templates-based checking, and the library we developed with Python, using its libraries like OpenCV, Peel, and scikit-image. And we also can recognize text and digits from the screen, because it's very important that the game shows us the right wins and so on. So we need to understand the digits on the screen. And so after creating this library and summed up all the keywords we needed, we gained the following. So what this library allows us to check. We can understand whether the image is present on the screen or not. We use absolute template matching or not by adding a threshold value, which can be absolute or less. We can wait for different images to appear, hide, or stop on the screen, or the specified area which we specified by the coordinates. What means image to stop? Some images appears sliding from the above to the end of the desktop app screen, and so we must understand that the image stops moving, and to check it. We can find a set of images on the screen or the specified area We can also count images on screen. We have, for example, more than one the same image on the different parts on the screen, and we can count the number of these images. As I said, we recognize text and digits from the screen and check the accuracy of their displaying. Here we use Tesseract Ochre, and we also try to teach Tesseract with our own sets of fonts, because each game is different. It uses our own fonts created by our designers, and we have to teach Tesseract to understand these fonts also. Also, when it's hard or it's not so important to click on the templates on the image, we can click on zones. And the last, which was implemented, we can detect images by templates with highest noise level. Sometimes it's not enough to set the threshold value, and we have the image to check on different backgrounds, and we must understand that this image is present despite of the different backgrounds behind it. So it's now also possible. And what is painful and what's planning to be done next is to check animations, because each release developers code different bugs, and so that's the task to be done in the future. Thank you.
So, time for one question over there.
Hello, can you hear me? Thank you very much for the interesting topic. It's really exciting. I had two questions actually. Question number one. So apparently you could not solve your requirements and issues with Sikuli library. So the question would be, what was the main issue about Sikuli in your case? And the second question, your new library, how generic is it, or is it really specific? How would you compare it with the Sikuli library? Can you use your library in other projects where image recognition is need to be done? Thank you.
Last one. This question.
Yes. I've read about the Sikuli library and its abilities, but I came to the conclusion, but it will not help us. It's not enough. So I do not know much about it. With our keywords and our library, we can test as a desktop app, a web app. I forgot to say that we have a web version of the slot games, and all is put into Canvas. So you can't stick to any inner structure, and you also have to click to click on templates to learn to understand the images. So, if I have answered your question. And the library, yes, it can be used to check any application where you have to analyze images. It's not yet open source. It's a question to discuss, because we are doing it at our company, and it's the first time I'm here. It's the first time I'm telling about it. So it's an open question, and we can talk about this topic if you are interested in what we've done. Thank you.